Hi there, folks. It's Jesse here with the Bark and Branch Farm. But it's Father's Day, so my wife has kindly let me come out of the house and work on moving these pigs because it's been much too long in the last paddock. I'll show you a few. It's just pretty nasty, and been getting a lot of rain as well. So, anyways, it's butt crack nasty. But so we're gonna move them. And I thought the last paddock was kind of rough getting them in, but this one today. And I'm sorry I didn't get any befores, so you only get to see an after, but I'm not quite done stringing it up yet. So I'll show you what we got with the old paddock here real quick. And here in a sec, I guess the pigs are probably back in the shade. I see one running there. Anyways, things have been good. Took off work last week, thankfully, and got to go to Boone, North Carolina to Appalachian State for something called Frontline to Farm, which they put on for veterans. And since I was a nasty reservist in the United States Marine Corps, a couple of tours in Iraq, I was blessed enough to get my application taken and be able to go down there and get a week of some terrific education, meet a lot of other great vets that are in all sorts of different farming ventures and different levels. So great ideas, a lot of cool stuff. I think in the future my plan will probably be to dial in on chestnuts as my main thing, but got some other great ideas, and I'm a little bit close to the bluegrass region here. Maybe this could be classified as a bluegrass region in Kentucky, but anyways, I really want to try ginseng, even though that's like a 10-year long-term thing. But really looks like it just work once, get it settled in, and then just let it be. So that's preparing the beds. Anyways, enough about that. Awesome training. If you're a vet, you ought to look into it. And they took us on some awesome tours. Great people, good classes, great ideas. I realized that my business side of things here and the legal side of things really are non-existent, so I'm gonna have to square that away. But we'll get to that soon. Anyways, I'm all dressed up in all this various camouflage from previous jobs and stuff I've done, so I'm trying to keep the bugs off of me, and it's helping pretty good. Anyways, here's the pigs, and I'll show you around. What is happening, y'all? I think they're probably ready to move. Look at them. They've done a number. They have done a number with this one. There's that sweet hooch they got up there. And it's super muddy. Like, if I wear these boots here, which I usually do when I come out and I walk through there, the mud goes all the way up over the tops by the laces. So, pretty impressive. But definitely went well beyond just disturbing the land. And this is one of the better ones yet, and it's all my fault because I didn't do anything with it for, I don't know how long it's been now, but probably 5 or 6 weeks. But anyways, kind of cool. Mulberry tree right above me here. I don't know if you can see this stuff or not. There's a lot of mulberries hanging on there, so I'm hoping they're getting some good snacks along the way. And I think what I'll do is, once this weather dries out a bit, maybe come in here, clear some of this underbrush out that they've not eaten or anything, and clear some of these trees up that I don't need, and really open up the forest to trees I want to keep, or just open it all the way up, collect some lumber, and can make some room to plant some chestnut trees. Anyways, you guys good? What's new? All right, I better shut up and get filming because I want to get this done, and I think get a shower and go out to Midway, Kentucky tonight to a terrific Mexican restaurant called Don Jockey's. So yeah, anyways, I'll start here. The old gate. Sorry, that was a little quick, and not trying to make anybody throw up. All right, got the insulators there. I'll start there, and we'll just walk it. I'm actually going to give them a little shelter in the barn here. Down this way, there's just a ton of briars. I cut through a bunch today, and it took forever. Definitely the longest part. I've worked 3 hours today so far on this, and hopefully I'll get this done in another hour or so. Stringing up is pretty much the easy part, in my opinion. I do want to show you, I drove this post so straight. So I promise I've not been drinking today. Not yet, at least. But anyways, craftsmanship, but you know what? I think it'll serve its purpose. So since I'm turning the wire, I've got this big T-post there. And a very short turn next to the barn. I do another T-post here, so run it on the outside so that can take a lot of pressure. right on down the line here. And we've had this old fence through here forever, and a lot of briars were through here. Still see a lot on the ground. A lot of them are dead, thank God, but basically cut a canopy. Cut through a canopy of them, and then took some bolt cutters and cut this old chain link out, so this will actually be my access point probably for feeding, watering, and this way people can see the pigs a little easier too, so a lot easier to get to. I'll probably have to do a little cleanup with some loppers and weed eaters as I get the line in and see where I'm touching anything, but for the most part I'm pretty happy with it. Hopefully they'll be happy with this as well. It's definitely getting hotter. The forecast is looking at like high 80s by the end of next week. So wish that wouldn't come to fruition. We've had a nice cool spring, but with that a ton of rain, and so that's not been really good for a lot of flowering plants. And not so great for the bees either, I don't believe, even though I'm a new beekeeper. Alright, so here's my next corner, this old pasture here. It's really cool when I look at these old overhead mats. This all used to be opened up, and it's just left alone for I don't know how many years, and it's really just been overtaken. All sorts of wonderful poison ivy right here. Just my favorite stuff. Alright, so we're actually kind of getting on the back of the bee yard. The chestnut field where you've seen me drone on before about different stuff. Oh, mercy, and look at that beautiful honeysuckle. Whew. Just the best. Kind of like the poison ivy, but it's everywhere. So that might be one of those things that come in after the pigs are done and cut down a little bit. Sugar back. There's the bees. Having a pretty big time. If you can see them, I'll try to zoom in slowly. Again, I've still yet to upgrade to any sort of professional or semi-professional camera. Just rolling with the phone. And you know what? It works okay. So for the 5 of you that actually watch these videos, it's probably alright. Chestnuts in the tree tubes out there. Pretty excited about those. Have lost one. It was a grafted one, so that kind of stinks, but it's part of it. Alright, we are getting there. Speed this up. This is going to be a long section of wire, as you can tell. And I'll tie it off down here to the next gate. And my intention will be, once they're ready to move on beyond this paddock here, well, there's the briars and stuff I was talking about down here, this old farm gate. So I didn't want any part of that, trying to get through all this junk. It would just take a lot of time, so I just cheat, get them through the barn. And maybe they'll clear it up for me, but next thing I'll do is a few weeks or whenever I get this next is cut some of this wire out here, and then I'll build them a paddock out into the field a bit and keep them somewhat in the shade here as well, so it's a lot more open out there. They can get up around these Bradford pear trees and have a big time, I'm sure. This seems like a pretty good spot, and they're not too close to the bees. And I think we've actually got some sinkhole stuff out there, so I'm going to try to run them around there and let them clean up some of that just nastiness. And we'll kind of see what we got. Alright, I've already got this tiny section run. It took all of just a couple minutes. So I'll get started on the next one. But that's it. To all you dads out there, probably seeing this after Father's Day, but I hope you had a good one. To all you wives and girls out there that put up with dads, and thank you for doing so. We appreciate it. And as always, appreciate you watching. Feel free to comment anything you see that's jacked up or you think I could do better. Appreciate it. Okay, so I'm back, and it's been a long time since I've done any videos. I think the last one I filmed was actually on Father's Day when I set this pig paddock I'm standing in. When I set it up, it was a good hot day, so gosh darn, it's been almost a month, I think. So Still in there today, but I've already started making their next one. I'm going to move them out into more of a pasture area where they got some more access to grasses and that kind of business. So hopefully they'll get some more fresh food. But I'll try to do a quick one here to add on to the old one. So by the time you're seeing this, it's been about a 4-week break. And being that I'm not some like YouTube wizard extraordinaire, yeah, I'll splice these together and just roll with it. So not much editing. So of course, low budget. That's me. Anyways, let's see what these pigs are doing real quick, and then I'll show you around. So I just got home from my 9 to 5, and let's come here and feed these suckers. They're getting pretty big now. I don't know, I would guesstimate they're probably pushing 200 pounds a piece. So I think we found a local feed store, and I got this goodness here. Anyways, it's a lot cheaper than what I was doing at Rural King. So anyways, here's their water area, and they've really dirtied this up. The rest of it, though, they've done a pretty good job between these old barns. Still a lot of briars and stuff in here. I need to work on my vocabulary and quit using stuff. But anyways, a lot of stuff in here that I don't want. But they've really knocked down a lot, and now you can pretty much walk straight through here without having too many issues. In a perfect world, I'd like to come in here in the near future and really thin out some of these smaller trees and decide if there's any I want to keep. Certainly get rid of this nasty ass honeysuckle over here, because Lord knows I don't need any more of that. And gosh, that stuff spreads like, well, it just spreads a lot, like say like wildfire. But yeah, stuff's awful. And then I could yank all this stuff out and have a nice bonfire in the fall. So of course, honest to God, anybody that's done like rotational grazing or silvo pasture, I would like to consider this silvo pasture, but I think maybe I'm leaving them in these paddocks too long, just with life and work and stuff and kids' sporting events. Really struggling to get them moved as quickly as I should. So they really jack up the area. So I suppose, I mean, eventually stuff will come back. I just don't have a whole lot of soil loss. It's not like I'm trying to plant in here necessarily, but I can always throw down some grass seed or something. Just to give you an idea what the area looked like or would look like. Look at that. That beautiful poison ivy still hanging on though. Just like Wilson Phillips, hold on for one more day. Isn't that right? Anyways, looking over here, this is what it kind of would have looked like. And minus, there's another big patch of briars right there. Got this old farm gate next to the barn. And you can't smell it, but there's some death in the air. Had a raccoon that killed a bunch of our chickens, and I'll call them our juvenile chickens we'd raised from eggs, and we hadn't quite incorporated them into the main flock yet. And then I guess this raccoon moved in and decided they'd be pretty tasty meals, so ate several over the course of a few days. We set a trap. Me, a guy coming from the suburbs, didn't really grow up hunting or anything like that, you know, I was like a dorky kid playing Nintendo, Mario Brothers and all that trash. But now I'm trying to fancy myself a farmer and learn it. I got to do some of those hard things, I guess. So yeah, I shot the raccoon and killed it. And anyways, quick shot of the bees there doing their thing. Speaking of the bees, I put a queen excluder in there this past weekend, and both of them, fed them some more sugar, trying to just grow them up. I don't anticipate getting much honey this year, being the first year, but I'll take a little bit. Could end up being that, I guess, funny honey is what they call it, because I guess they could mix it with their sugar water to actually store that. I'll tell another story on myself real quick. This beehive was actually a much smaller nuke when I purchased it, and but they really exploded, so it's definitely like the stronger hive now. And so here's a story I'm going to tell myself. I ordered a couple of my beekeeping items from Temu, so Temu beekeeping, and I really love comb honey, so I'd order this well before I even had bees. This I guess comb cassettes, and these guys in this hive that I was just showing you, they're doing so good. I was like, well, what the hell, I'm gonna throw the comb cassette thing in there and just see what happens. So we'll see what happens in a month or so, maybe in the fall. But yeah, then my smoker, also my bee smoker, is also a Temu purchase. Oh, lovely. Gosh. I think if farming poison ivy was a career choice, I'd probably do quite well. But so far, my regular garden over there is just, it's pretty chaotic. All right, anyways, this is almost the end of the pig paddock here. Still one of the other farm gates here. Looking back this way, you can still see it's pretty jacked up in here, briary. So this area still needs some manual work on my part. If I want to clear it out, I don't even know what I'd do with it, to be honest with you. But it'd be nice to have a cool shaded area to come sit. Maybe hang a hammock or two up and be able to come read a book. And maybe eventually plant some stuff in here. But a little pig house, the back came off. And then turn back to the old paddock. Prior to this, they really did a number, but it's all broken down now and pretty opened up. So I like to go in there and again cut that out, but life happens and it gets crazy, and if it doesn't happen, oh well. They've hopefully are living a happy pig life. That's all I can hope for. So anyways, yeah, I set the big T-posts up yesterday, and I'm going to go through and drop the little temporary, these little guys in, and hopefully run some line. Probably only get about an hour work in today. I'm going to take them out this way through the chestnut field and keep them away from my chestnut trees because I don't want them knocking those down or rooting through them. So if you see this one on the right here, right there, yep. Whoa, jacked up that zoom. Anyways, that poor little guy, I ordered from it's a Burnt Ridge Nursery out in Washington State. They've got some really great products, and I like the guy that owns it. His videos are cool, and he seems to know what he's doing. But out of all the ones I ordered from there, that one just kicked the bucket pretty quickly on me. So, you win some, you lose some. So I'm going to leave that one there. If I would quit being lazy, I'd just pull that whole tree tube off and that stake out, and I'll use it for something else. But that's what I'm getting ready to do. So I probably better quit talking and actually get working. So, yeah. Go up here and refill the feed bucket up for tomorrow. And, yeah, get after it. So, I'm going to be trying to get ready for dinner and scramble to try to get the kids to bed. But, that's a pain in the ass on summer break because they don't want to go to sleep. So, I find myself in these nights using earplugs. And it works. So, it's summertime. As a guy working a 9-to-5 and wishing I was doing this full time somehow and sustaining myself, just far from happening yet, but hey, maybe one day we'll get there. A lot of trial and error ahead. I appreciate you all watching. We'll get a shot of the pig's butt there for you. That's the boy pig, and then the girl pig. And I really need to start looking soon if anybody knows any good meat processing areas in the central Kentucky area. Heck, I'd even go to eastern Kentucky or out towards Louisville. I'm not too far out of Lexington. Georgetown's the closest, decent sized town near us, if you're familiar with Kentucky. But yeah, you actually watch this. I know I'm probably just talking to myself here, but if anybody does watch this and know any good processors, please let me know. And I think my intent will be to take these ones off to freezer camp, as they call it, probably after deer season. So that all the folks get their deer processed and hopefully get these guys scheduled. And my daughter's gonna be really mad at me. But anyways, try to give them a good life. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Bye. All right. So P.S. to the last video, because apparently I'm not done. I thought y'all might want to see like a little bit of setup, and also for you kiddos out there, a lesson learned. Maybe you can learn from me and not do something stupid. So anyways, here we go. Okay, so you saw that, but anyways. Here's the old paddock. But actually I'm going to combine these two for a while so they still got a shaded area. Let them kind of chill in there. And then they can come out here in this field. And you can see I got that gate up the hill there. And I'm going to start working them that way into the woods that really do want to get some cleaning up done. So anyways, what I did incorrectly, instead of properly using a spool previously to roll up the poly wire, I just was like, hey, let's roll it around my hand and, you know, a little bit of bro science and I'll figure it out. Well, guess what happened? I didn't figure it out. I actually got this run all the way from here. I started it here, ran it all the way there, went down, around, up to the gate up there, and got one good run, started coming back, got about a quarter way back, and it was just way too knotted. So eventually, did say cuss words, I promise. Maybe I did. Anyways, I gave up, and thankfully I've got some extra wire. And I just need to put it on a spool, which I bought, and I've honestly been too lazy. So because I was too lazy and didn't take the time to do it right the first time, as the saying goes, it's taking me more time now, and I lost a lot of time today where I probably could have had this thing fully set up had I done it properly. So anyways, this will be the future fence line. It was great coming through here as opposed to the last paddocks. If you watch those videos where I have to go through with loppers and chainsaws and all that junk. Here, zero turn, a bad boy, zero turn Avenger. Yeah, well, it works out good for me. A little slow, cut this a couple times. We've got some walking trails out here, so I just integrated and made some new ones. There's my dead chestnut tree. And I need to pick a couple of these things up. So I'll run it here, this side of the fence. I'll run a connector over this side. So I did get this one run over here. Anyways, let me grab this stuff. Ground's so dry, I was using this small little sledgehammer to drive some of these temporary posts in the ground. You start stepping on these things here, and they just start bending in this hard dirt. So, all right, yeah. I'll have to do a little bit of weed eater cleanup here. It's got some pretty good tension on the wire. So tomorrow, if I have time, I know we got a t-ball game. Anyways, whenever I get time again, I'll come back here, run the second top one here, and then I'll spool up some wire on the spool I bought. And I used a few more posts through here just because I got this grade and keep the wire off the ground. I evened out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Right next against my chestnut trees. Look here. Probably gonna screw this up. I think this is, I call it a Busha de Bedizak chestnut, but that's the one from Burnt Ridge Nursery, as you can see there. And inside the tree tube here, tree tubes from Tree Pro. It's looking pretty good. So I don't know if it's gonna do real well because I think that's just a European version. And again, not knowing what the hell I'm doing half the time. I didn't read up enough, and I guess the European ones are still a bit more liable to get some of the chestnut blight. Anyways, this one's a Bracala, also ordered from there. You can see how much taller it is. Doing a lot better. So yeah, I've got two Bracalas, two of those, and then I've got two of these Chinese chestnuts from the state. Grab this post here. Just keep all my junk together. And yeah, so I think I will call this video wrap because this is pretty much done. I mean, there's not going to be anything else to see in the future other than just some extra wire run. So hopefully the next 2-3 days, work and life permitting, I'll get this thing turned on. I'll tie off some leads to the old wires over there who connect to the charger, and we'll be golden, pony boy. So again, thanks for watching. This was just I don't know, call it a bonus if you want. Probably already tuned out by now, but appreciate you watching if you didn't. Thanks.